Hi friends, welcome back. Today I felt like maybe doing a little tarot reading for us would be fun because it's something I'm wanting to do a bit more of. So let's begin. If you'd just like to close your eyes, take a deep breath in towards the back of the body and exhaling down into the body. 2 more breaths like this, inhaling into the back of the body. Exhaling down into the body. Just gently allowing a white light to enter through the crown, clearing, cleansing, aligning, releasing, filling us with love, with gratitude, balance, whatever that looks like for us in this now moment. And it moves down the body in a spiral motion, down into the third eye, into the mind, the physical brain, down into the throat. Clearing, cleansing, aligning, releasing, replacing that which no longer serves for the highest good of all, and so it is. Moving down into the heart, maybe it's clearing the back, down the arms, out the hands. Clearing, cleansing, aligning, releasing all of our internal organs, upgrading, enlightening, releasing all that no longer serves. Moving down into the solar plexus, strengthening and reinforcing our relationships with love, with unconditionality of being, whilst maintaining strong individual boundaries, unique for our authentic expression. And so it is. Moving down into the sacral, feeling our own natural state of abundance, of joy, of being who we are now in this moment. Grateful for the journey, creating more of what works, being open to surprise. Moving down into the root chakra, clearing, cleansing, aligning, releasing, inviting in safety and security into this energy field, reinforcing our stable nature, our groundedness, our physical realm abundance, and letting this energy moving down each of the legs, clearing, cleansing, aligning, releasing, moving through the knees, clearing, cleansing, aligning, releasing, inviting in more light, more love, more life. Down to the ankles. More life, more love. Down and out into the earth, moving down. We grow our roots down into the crystalline earth grid, down to the core of the earth, connecting, exchanging. And we're breathing up now, breathing up the exchange of energy, that which serves for the highest good of all and for our unique expression in this now moment will enter our field, moving all the way up in a beam of light straight from the earth's core, up, and out the crown of the head, connecting. tuning in with our own energetic boundaries, just allowing us to reinforce that energetically in our own unique way. If you have no idea what that means, just ask your higher self. They'll do it for you. They are you. And now take a nice deep breath all the way in. Focus on the heart space and just exhale, imagining the heart space opening to receive all the beauty that life has in store for us in this moment, on this day, in this unique and beautiful way. Letting the heart just gently expand. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Your energy, your awareness, your attention is really, really welcomed here. And we're just going to gently open our eyes together as I shuffle the cards. Oh, very vocal. We're using the Light Seers Tarot. It's one of my faves. Okay, so we have the Page of Wands in reverse. So to me, this card is a lot about celebration and specifically about a message of celebration. So maybe that's like a thought that's being downloaded into your being, or a message from someone externally, even like just a story from the past, perhaps, that you'd forgotten about, that actually celebrates your progress or your process or your being in some way, shape, or form. And when it's in reverse, I feel very resonant with the idea of it's coming, like it's coming down into the body. It's a message from the body itself. Like, we have a lot of stories in this reality about once you hit a certain age, your body decreases in value, or it decreases in ability, or whatever kind of crap we want to overlay onto a physical experience because it's been considered a norm for a little while in time. Some of us can remember different ways of being. And when we are able to connect with our bodies, we can access different parts of ourselves. Maybe a part of us that is really good at running, for example, or really good at dancing, really good at moving in some way or shape or form. And I'm specifically feeling like movement as in the body flesh suit being the message that's coming through. And in the picture, she's got like little lizards on her jeans. Can you see that? And it makes me feel of like flexibility, adaptability, moving into different methods of creating fluidity in the body, and how important flexibility can be as our bodies are aging, as we are aging as beings, and keeping in touch with that as an expression of empowerment, right? Like, as we allow ourselves the freedom to explore our bodies, our movements, we give ourselves the freedom to move through the world in that way too, within our work, within our friendships, within our connections, within our relationship with God, source, the universe. All of it is relationship, right? And the body can be a great tangible place to explore and express from when we're really learning how to honor ourselves as beings. I'm seeing like the end of a limiting belief around body image. Yeah, like it's actually not what you think it is. It's not as bad. This is the sun in reverse. In reverse, pardon me. It's not what you think it is. Your body is not what you think it is. It's stronger, it's more powerful. It's not the end. It doesn't matter how old you are or how old you feel. It's like you can always feel better than the day before. The capabilities might evolve, they might change, but the lightness of being actually can increase as we grow closer to transitioning into another world, another form. the lightness of our being increases. That's part of the joys of getting older. The lightness in our being, the less heavily we're anchored to the earth, we are also able to really tap into and tune into DNA strands specifically and talk to them, to tune them to, like a guitar, you know? We can create a body that we're actually pleasantly surprised with and living in. And that's something I've been really called to explore within myself, especially over this last week when I took some space from YouTube. I was very much just being in my body and experiencing what was there, what's changed, what's new, where does it want to go, how does it want to move, how do I want to nourish it in this moment, you know, what is the best move for me personally. Yeah, so it's where we get our clearest message. We've got the Chariot in reverse, which makes me think of like this journey it's a never-ending journey. We're always going to be evolving and exploring into new understandings of ourselves. And it doesn't have to look like anything specifically. It doesn't have to be anything specifically. It doesn't have to, my story doesn't have to be your story. You know, your story doesn't have to be someone else's story. Yeah, like, okay, looking at the places in our lives where our hearts have been broken and learning to grow beautiful things from that place. Learning to grow beautiful things from that place. And I just heard the Ariana Grande song, Focus on Me. Focus on me, you know, like focus on yourself. It doesn't matter who or what is in your life, whether that's like romantic, whether it's friendship, whether it's like this really beautiful relationship with your work, your job, your career. The relationship with yourself is the foundation for all of those things. And what do I mean when I talk about self? When I talk about self, I mean not the voices in your head, not the emotions that you experience and are probably addicted to experiencing on a daily basis, myself included. We all are. We are addicted to emotion, certain patterns of emotion. It just happens because that's the way we've been conditioned from a young age. It's the way evolution has created us into this magnificent form. There's nothing wrong or bad about it. I think the healing community can be a bit judgmental sometimes if it's received with a certain level of wounding. It can feel like an attack. But what I'm sharing now is our innate capability to free ourselves from these limitations being who we are, the self. And if anyone's ever listened to Eckhart Tolle, I think that's how you pronounce his name, The Power of Now, it's the peace within that is encompassing these aspects of self that we are learning to tune more into as a species. We've got our mental stories, we've got our mind telling us this, that, and the other, which is actually a very, very small proportion of the brain and the mind itself. It's actually not being used in its fullest capacity in the slightest. And as we move away from reliance of judgment, of blame of other people, we can sink deeper into the body. And once we sink deeper into the body, we start to feel the emotions that we're addicted to. We start to feel the patterns of behavior, like needing a cup of coffee in the morning, or you know, not drinking enough water, just allowing ourselves to dehydrate. It's the noisiest bottle in the world, but I love it. Like a little engine. And once we kind of marry the two aspects of these parts of our identity together, we realize that we are more than that experience. We can sink back into the body. That's why I always get us to breathe into the back of the body and down into the body. We're moving into peace body is what I want to call it. Peace body. It's like the part of us the God space, the part of us that can hold the emotion, that can hold the mental stories and say, I love you. It's okay. We don't have to listen to this being the truth. We can surrender that. We can let that go. We can let that go. We don't have to hold on to this. We don't have to have this patterning just because 3 generations back, my grandma had a daughter who did this thing and that thing, and then this happened and this happened. And now I feel like this all the time because that's the experience that they had to go through to survive. It's like, no, actually, we can survive in a different way. We can survive. We can adapt. We don't have to throw the history out. We don't have to blame it. We don't have to shame it. We don't have to think of trauma as like this really negative, evil thing. We can actually just look at it as information and data, which is what it is, which is stored in the DNA. It's stored in our bodies. It's stored in our minds. It's information. So let's use the shit, use the fertilizer, and create something beautiful. Going back to this dynamic here. Where's the other one? I think that some of us watching this video, I would say myself included, we are not allowing this pain to fully be felt. There's really an aspect of us that is calling us further in, that's calling us deeper in, to grow from that depthy place, right? We get a lot of conversation happening in spiritual communities around being high vibe, around feeling better emotion. And I don't think that this particularly speaks to not feeling negative emotion, but it has left a lot of people feeling like they can't explore negativity. They can't feel the negativity because that means they're low vibe. But actually, if we look at a battery, what does a battery have? It has a positive side and a negative side. And when the two are balanced, it creates a circuit. It creates a pulsing of electricity that allows something to move through it, that allows something to be powered by it. So in order for us to be fully charged and powered as a human, as a sovereign individual with our own unique energy field, that is, of course, connected to the whole, but is also sovereign in its own choices and being. And we actually have the free will that people claim we always have, even though it's just an excuse for them to recycle old patterns and move into actual brainwashed behavior. It's quite funny that we have to almost earn our own free will, in a sense, by unplugging from the mind, unplugging from the emotional addiction, and allowing ourselves to sink back into God, into source, into our innateness, into our nature. And when we're really able to, from this place of peace, go deep within ourselves, not lost in the rabbit hole, not down the rabbit hole forever. You know, we have clients, we have friends, we have family, we have things that we want to do with our lives. So we're not going to spend all of our lives stuck in that place, although some part of us may feel like we would do, because we have in the past found it more difficult to evolve from those lower states of being. But that actually the lower states of being are where what some people call the golden shadow is. It's the aspects of ourselves that we've denied, rejected, disowned, and shamed that actually could be the source of our truest power. They could be the topic of a book we want to write. They could be the podcast we're waiting to launch. They could be the music career we know is ours. You know, there's all of these things that it could be, but we won't know unless we really feel into those places and we come at it from this curious expression of self. Now, this is what I do as my job. I guide people through and into those places within self, within other, as well as exploring that as a concept. So sometimes before we're ready to really feel, we have to explore the conceptual aspect first, so that we're almost like training our mind to know that this is a journey that we're going to be undertaking throughout our whole life. You know, I tend to move away from the idea that come to me if you want to be fixed. You know, that's not how I want to work. That's not how I want to present myself as a coach or as a facilitator. And what it really looks like to be embodied in your being is confidence. It feels like a core confidence within you has been activated, and it is peaceful and it is strong and it is quiet a lot of the time. but it holds the space within you. It allows you to feel the space outside of you. That's why people talk about holding space, because we're less focused on the individual or the object in space and time, and we're more focused on the space and time itself, the distance, the air between me and the window, the light coming through from the window, right? The nuances and the energy. That's my gift to hear and to feel and to share with you, and work through a process that allows us to embody each aspect of our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, our spiritual body into a unified place. It's the practice of yoga, essentially. It's less exercise focused, it's less bodily focused, in the sense of there's going to be mental understandings that accompany this process, and there's going to be like different modalities that allow us to walk through this process together. But that I have a beautiful container I've spoken about. It's a 12-week devotional playtime container where we move through the mental, the emotional, the physical, spiritual bodies, first 4 weeks, and then we take it deeper with the same structure for the second 4 weeks. And the final, the part 3, the phase 3, is the same structure, but you're integrating it into your own reality, and I'm there as a support. So the idea is that you are continuing these practices in a way that feels authentic to you, in a way where you can actually move through your life in a more embodied place and feel more confident about holding that pain, feel more confident about releasing that pain, feel more confident about growing and using that as something that can be your greatest superpower, not something that is hindering you or holding you back, but really something that you're learning to see as a superpower. So my method is all about having fun. It's all about making lightness where there is heaviness, and giving ourselves the courage to do things that might seem scary. And when we have other people to guide us through that process, or we have other people journeying with us, the process becomes so much easier. It becomes so much more relaxed. And also you have someone to have fun with, right? When we're doing the shadow work, or we're doing integration, we're doing parts work, whatever you call it, we are always going to feel like we can do it alone, right? And there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but one of the core wounds of humanity is connection and lack thereof connection. So if we can allow, in a safe structure, people to explore the themes of connection and community in a way in which is genuinely authentic to who they are and how they want to show up in the world, that can be accessed in a much, much deeper way when there is an exchange of energy, an exchange of monetary value for physical, emotional wellness and support. Someone that is carving time and energy and frequency out of their own space and field specifically to hold you within that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that magic? And it becomes a very selfless way of being selfish. Because as I invest in places and spaces and coaches and programs and things that are allowing me to become the best version of myself, that little girl inside me feels soothed. She feels like, oh, I'm learning the things that I need to know to have a healthy relationship, to succeed in my music, to move forward with my relationship with food, you know, whatever it is that we're uniquely working through and working on, having that externalized responsibility of support, that's where we really thrive, because there's someone that helps keep us accountable, keeps us ready to keep moving forward, rather than just like pushing forward and then moving back and then pushing and then moving back, you know, that really stagnant way of slowly getting forward when we're doing it alone. And you can do it alone, of course. You can do it with online communities. You can do it in any way, shape, or form. This really speaks to the kind of person that's ready to be nourished fully and make a really big commitment to their self-actualization, their self-realization, and their self-care. Because having a coach, having a personalized experience with someone else taking you through a journey, it really gives you that aspect of self-care. I am being so nourished. I can lean into that person, into that space, within boundaries, of course, but that's what makes it magical, right? There's a level of responsibility we are taking by investing We're saying, I'm ready to create my own reality. I'm ready to be the woman I've always wanted to be. So with that being said, I just want to welcome you into devotional playtime in the energetic realm, because I'm going to be posting some little bits and pieces of what I'm going to be sharing in devotional playtime as a course. Just little snippets, so that if anyone wants to kind of do the work themselves, they have something to bounce off of, and also maybe get a flavor for what it would be like to work with someone like me. Maybe this leads you onto a coach that you really resonate with, or maybe you resonate with me and we can have a chat and see if we would be the right fit. So I would love to have you in devotional playtime starting on the 1st. It would be an absolute honor to have you in my container and take you through a process. If you are wanting more private coaching and you want a one-to-one, I also offer devotional playtime as a one-to-one offer, but obviously that is at a higher price point, and also there's not as many spots available. So just send me a message, let me know, let's connect. And I love you so much. Have a blessed, brilliant, and beautiful day. All unfolds in the perfect way. And so it is.